Good day, everyone. So I've got Craig Wapnick, better known as Whappo, here on the line, all the way from England. Craig, I thought you in SA, busy wrecking for our coming Go2Berg that's coming up.
Teresa, I have been. I'm back and forth because we've got to grow and market the event in the UK as well as around the world. But essentially, I'm between two countries often, and yeah, we've sort of finalised the route for Go2Berg this year, and I think you're in for a great ride.
So, Craig, I remember it's exactly a year, basically to the day that we spoke the last time, but then it was about Joburg to see, the last Joburg to see, and I remember everyone was sad and miserable because we couldn't believe that you're ending this event. But I must say, I had a feeling that you had something up your sleeve and a surprise up your sleeve. And in the meantime, you came up and you said, yeah, and brand new event is coming up, the Go2Berg. And yeah, I must say, I'm really excited about this. Also, especially because you announced that Old Mutual is one of the sponsors again this year, or the sponsor for the first event, which is quite exciting. I think, tell us, just to start with, what does it mean for an event to have a proper headline sponsor? Why is it so important?
I think it's super important to start an event with a sponsor if possible, so that you are able to not have to start with exorbitant prices, and you can start the event with a bit of security. So it's not that they don't cover costs. It's about more than that. It's about how can we add value to Old Mutual and connect them to the rider and all that sort of thing. But it does give the event organizers an opportunity to launch something new with a bit of security that helps, and still look after the communities that we're passing through and making sure that the event actually happens. And I think that's been the kickstart that Old Mutual have given us, as well as the credibility of saying we're backing this. This is a start. It's the first year. We're not expecting it to be like Joburg to see in year one. We're going to grow it, but we're with you. And I think that support is invaluable.
So, Wappa, I think just for people who doesn't know anything about the event, we should tell them Go2Berg is a brand new event, like we said. It's taking place this year from the 3rd to the 9th of June. And starting in the Free State, Frankfurt, and then Rates, we're going to Clarence, then okay, now you must help me.
Sterkfontein Dam.
And then into the Berg. So,
Correct.
Yeah. And I must tell you, funny enough, I thought about it this morning. I basically cycled everywhere in the country. You know that through my work, I was lucky enough to be everywhere, from Cape Town, KZN. I've cycled in the Transkei. But I must tell you, I've never, ever cycled in Clarence before. This is completely something new to me, and I'm really excited about it. Just to be part of a new event and to see the new scenery. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys are going to bring us and having.
Yeah. Look, it's a great journey. I mean, we've never been able to include Clarence because it would have made Joburg to see too long. Now that we're finishing in the Berg, we can play around a little bit with new routes, because the entire journey is 520 Ks and Joburg to see was 900 Ks. So you couldn't add more in. So we've put Clarence in now because it is a great touristy town. Also, we are mindful that there are other events there. So we're not going to be going around Clarence that much. We're going into Clarence and we're coming out, which is quite nice. And you get to start seeing the real Maluti Mountains, getting that real vibe of the mountains. And yeah, we've got a lot of potential there. So, in the year one, like we've always done with our events, we get the feeling of what the riders are looking for and wanting. we can add more trail in years to come, we can do whatever, but ultimately this is going to be a journey to experience more of the heart of South Africa, and not so much about did I get to the sea or did I get to the destination. It's about actually what do you experience on the route? How do you feel when you meet the communities? How do you feel when you meet new riders? And I think we might be onto something quite special in that we are going to be connecting people even more maybe than we did in the past.
Yeah, and knowing Go2Berg, I can say from personal experience that that was one of the main things that made the event so special. I remember every year going through Frankfurt and rates. Oh yes, I forgot. We as part of the Afrikaans sections moet ons Afrikaans praat.
Ek is 'n soutie, maar ek sal probeer.
Hierdie is jou toets, Wappo. Gee jou beste.
My Afrikaans onderwyseres sal vir my nou sy sal vir my sê as ek 'n goeie job gedoen het of nie.
Wel, so far so good. Maar nee, maar ons moet vir mense sê daarom dat die eerste deel van Go2Berg begin in die Vrystaat, in Frankfurt, waaroor ek natuurlik baie opgewonde is, want nie net kom van my beste waarsy pelle kom almal van Frankfurt af nie. So ek ken die mense, ek ken die boeregemeenskap, ek weet hoe absoluut gasvry daai mense is. Hulle kan nie wag om die fietsryers in hulle dorp te hê. En ja, dit I've said it before that previous years with Go2Berg in Frankfurt and Rites, it was like going to a wedding or it's a matric farewell, the kind of food that they served us and the water tables. It was, and the people are really, it's amazing people. I don't know if you want to add to
that. Ek weet nie hoe 'n mens sê dit in Afrikaans, maar in Engels, you cannot buy the passion. You cannot, I don't know how you'd say, you kan nie betaal vir die passion, vir die mense wat hulle, the inputs of what these people put into the event. Ons het 'n relationship met die Frankfurt and Rites mense wat nou vir 11 jaar, for the past 11 jaar, sort of, we've formed this relationship for 11 years. They are great people. If South Africa, and we could bring the best of these people, all of these people, into running this country and helping everybody, South Africa would be perfect. They love their community. They want to share the love, and this event is about that. And the school in Clarence is run by an amazing woman, Anneke, who's she's going to bend over backwards for the riders to make sure that her new school is showcased and what they're doing for these young kids in Clarence. And that's the story of what we're trying to do. The reality is in South Africa is many people can't even afford a bicycle to ride this event. And we have to then show what the power of mountain biking can do to put back into the communities. And that is just something we're going to have to all help and try and do. Yeah. So we want to show that South Africans actually who have a bit of the ability to ride this country and ride on their bikes can actually put something back in. And I think this whole event is about that, and all what these communities are doing for them, for people. So I think, you've experienced it firsthand, and we want to keep that. I think that was the reason why we wanted to do something new, was to keep that community spirit going and not just stop.
Yeah, and I think it's important to tell people, because many people don't know that. But an event like Go2Berg is literally the lifeline for some of these schools. I know the one in Frankfurt, they don't get all the support they need to get, and this is really helping the kids to be able to go to school. So it's not only about having fun and going and experience the country, but it's also making a difference. But Wappo, so I know. I want to send this to some of my friends staying overseas in Germany and Switzerland and the Netherlands. What would you say if you can convince somebody to come and ride this event? What's the X factor of this event?
I would say it's one of the best ways to see a
Mm,
great part of South Africa. That is we've got some of the best kind of routes, the best kind of terrain. We've got great people, and I think ultimately we've now got the formula where you're going to meet amazing people and friends for life.
yeah.
You could meet friends for life. You could, you're going to see the Berg. You're going to experience great food and great riding. But I think it's a journey, and it's not just about the destination. And I think that journey is, for some people it will be a stage race, and for most it will be a stage ride.
Mm,
And I think it's if you love your mountain bike and you love, or any bicycle really, because you don't have to be a 100% mountain biker, but you just got to love riding. This is an off-road ride that showcases the very best of South Africa.
yeah, I must say I'm really excited. And Wappa, but tell me, how many riders are going to ride this year? Do you know?
I think we'll have about 250 riders,
Mm,
and we may, or depending on the feedback from all of you guys that are riding, we may or may not settle on that kind of number for future years, because it depends on a few things. But what we're trying to do is realize that the market has changed slightly,
mm,
that people want a combination of, they want to be part of something, but they actually also know that they want to be on almost a tour as well. So there's like a combination in our event of, we're on an awesome full service tour, but it's a bit bigger and more special than, and we're meeting more
yeah,
people, but it's not this big event where we can't talk to you. So I
yeah.
think there's this tipping point of where we've got to find our balance between what is the right size. And I think a little bit of feedback from, you've done it when it's very big,
Mm,
and now it's quite a lot smaller, which is fine. We got no issues with that. But we want to understand from riders, how did they feel?
mm,
Because as organizers, we want to make sure that is the way forward.
yeah.
So when our foreign riders come, when other South African riders come, they go, wow, this is just the right size. And I think that has always been a kind of thing for us to figure out. So we want feedback.
Yeah. So people ask me, how difficult is this going to be? And I looked at the days and the distances and the total ascent, and I thought by myself, oh dear, time is running out. I need to start training seriously. And also I saw some of the pictures that you've posted. I thought, please, Wappo, just save us. This is looking hard.
Those were jokes. Some of them were jokes. They were in England even. No,
Please.
I like to wind people up, Teresa. No, look, it's if you can do a 3-day stage race, this is a step up, proper step up for you. You need to train. It's not nearly as hard as Joburg to Sea was in terms of distance and length, but the worst thing is to come in undertrained and then you hate it.
That's
So
true.
ultimately, this is the next step from a 3-day event. So you know yourself, if you can do a good 3-day event, you then can carry on from there, and you can then basically say, well, hang on, I can do a 6-day now. And but now it's quite a nice thing, because 3 to 9 was quite tricky,
Yeah.
but 3 to 6 is very doable.
Yeah, that's very true. And you know what? I always tell my friends, if they ask me, I say to them that the organizers, you guys, are not there and trying to cut us off on purpose. You're actually there to help us finish. You want us to finish. But you must always think about safety, and there is other issues. And like you say, if you come there and well trained and well prepared, life is just so much easier. You can just enjoy it so much more, spend a bit more time longer at the water points and stop to take a picture. That's the way we always do it. And I must say, yeah, I love it.
So that's the biggest thing about a lot of people, is they think they've got to pace themselves too much and they ride too slowly on some of the gravel roads. You need to be fitter. Exactly. You couldn't have put it better. The way, if you're fitter, you get to the race village earlier, you can have a nice beer at the craft rig or a gin and tonic or whatever it is, you can relax. If you're struggling, that you don't enjoy it, you get in too late every day, the next day you're late again, you need to be fitter and you need to be a bit faster. Not faster, not ridiculously faster, but you need to look at your kilometers per hour and say, well, if the day is 80 Ks, and I'm riding at 15 Ks an hour, it's going to take me 6 hours, okay, whatever that is. You need to stick to that. And if you're riding at 11 Ks an hour, you really, you shouldn't be doing this event, really.
Yeah.
No, I mean, serious.
Yeah.
But it's not difficult to get to 15 Ks an hour or 13 and a half, 14, but you've got to work it out.
Yeah.
But if you're on 11 or 10, that means you're out for 8 hours on 80 Ks. You're not strong enough. You're not fit enough. Okay. And then you're leaving the emergency crew out late, but that's also, but you're going to be miserable because you're coming in, you haven't enjoyed the experience. So there's a kind of thing that you need to do. You need to improve your riding ability, and that includes your speed for fun, not for racing. Racing something else. That racing is another story. That's in another league. It's about enjoying it, and not being too slow.
Yeah, the thing that I've learned over the years is on the sections, the open roads, and on the sections where you can hit the hammer a bit, do it and go a bit faster, and just to save yourself for the bit more technical and difficult parts. That's, I think
exactly.
You gave me that advice once, and I actually listened.
And I give it to myself, and I still don't listen sometimes. No, but often when I've had, come out of a holiday season. Now, I think the crux is that this is a challenge. Okay. Now, a lot of events are a challenge. So even a 3-day event is a challenge. Even a 1-day event is a challenge. It's all relative to where you're at in your life and riding. What the worst thing is that you're not ready for this, and you think you can just get away with it, and then you come there and it's just not cool. So it's a challenge. And it's going to be a challenge. And we're probably like day 5 is 60%. Sorry, it's a 60K. Everyone looks at it and says, oh, 60 kilometers. But 60 kilometers with 90% single track can take you longer than 100K without single track.
Yeah.
So you need to factor that in. It's a proper test of riding. It's not overly technical. It's just a lot of single track. And it's the best of the Berg and Bush trails in one super stage. That's enough to almost want people to come out and ride something, because this is amazing African bush, but it's all, you don't often find yourself on 60 Ks of single track, so it's proper. And I think that's going to be like in itself is a test, for a lot of people.
What about my last question, and I know people asked me that before as well, is how is this going to be different from Berg and Bush? Because you've said now it's a lot of Berg and Bush. It's basically Berg and Bush compacted in one day. But without taking away riders from Berg and Bush, how are you going to maneuver that?
Well, exactly what you just said is, it's actually, you could almost look at it as a 6-day version of Berg and Bush, the same ethos, the same vibe. So that we're learning a lot from each other all the time. But you could be doing Berg and Bush as a 3-day, or you could be doing Go2Berg as a 6-day. Okay, and it's you as a person need to say, well, hang on, I've done a few Berg and Bushes, Sarnie to Seas, Wines to Wells. Now I'm going to go and do 6 days. But I'm not going to the Epic or Joburg to see like it used to be. I'm not going to go and do the Epic now. This is my next thing in life. But it's got the same vibe. So that's what Gary and myself have said. This is how we're going to shape it. It's almost like you could be doing the 3-day, or you could be doing the 6-day.
Yeah.
And I think that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. And I must tell you, we had that discussion before as well, but 9 days out of anyone's diary was a lot. And also 9 days on a bicycle is a lot. I remember always at Joburg to Sea coming to day 5, and you think, okay, I've got 5 days of riding now, and you'd be in your mind, you should be done now, and then you still have 4 days.
Well, look, it's difficult. It's difficult. One thing about Joburg to Sea was it was a journey from sort of city to sea mentally. So you put up with a lot of pain and suffering in a way to get to the sea, and it was a special. It had its own unique special properties. That was the journey to the sea. Okay, so the destination was super important because when you were tired and you're flat a bit and your head was a bit down because you were long, you still knew, I can't wait for the sea. Okay, and that had its own charm. This is different. This is about uplifting you on a journey, a slightly shorter journey that's more doable, probably less impact on your life in terms of, as you say, time, but different. And I think we're quite excited to find out what you guys think, because we can all talk and we can have great, it's like those pundits on TV where we all talk about it. Ultimately, it's going to be what you say when you finish riding or during your ride. And I think we are as excited as you are to find out what those thoughts are. We're not saying we've got full answers or whatever. The South African stage rage market is one of the best in the world. There's a lot of rides. We think we have something special, but as a follow-on kind of thing. But it's going to be interesting because I've noticed over the years how tired people get on Joburg to Sea mentally. And so that's the story.
Nice.
Okay.
Listen, but I will be honest, and in the end I will give you my honest feedback. For now I can say
correct. I've only known you like that, Teresa. I've only known you like that.
Well, Wappo, you've seen me at my worst. And we're still talking.
We want nothing but brutal. We want nothing but brutal honesty, and then I think that we have a great, honestly, our field is full of those people that have, you've got a lot of fence sitters waiting for 2024. They're waiting to see how this one goes. A lot of our international markets, we launched quite late. So a lot of our international markets like to plan a year in advance at least. And they've already told us that, cheapers, this sounds amazing. We're coming back. We can't wait. But again, we've got to prove ourselves. So we have a great bunch of people that are going to tell us, between you and Gerald de Kock, we've got two people that have ridden more, lots of Joburg to Seas, lots of other rides all over the country. You're going to say to us, jeepers, guys, you're on it. This is great. And then one or two honest words will spread all over. So that's why we're so excited to see, Either way, we're going to learn a lot. So it's very cool.
So, Wappo, last question. But if somebody look at this and they think, I need to do this, can they still enter? Will you still make a plan?
Our entry's closed 30 April, and we want to try and get a few more riders in if they want to. But we, like I said to you, absolutely we will try. But we want to make sure that overall the people that have entered now have the best experience possible. But if someone is like one of your friends or people are really keen to ride, they've got until the 30th of April to make a decision. It's not always easy to make a call, but if they're fit and ready, absolutely, let's give them a go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and
Pleasure, Teresa.
I'm really looking forward to see you, Wappo, and see you soon.